Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, coming at you for the first time in 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope your holiday season was better than you ever could have expected, and Santa brought you everything if you celebrate. And to my friends who celebrate other holidays around the same time of year, I hope you got all the things you wanted in the world, including amazing experiences with your family. It's great to be in 2026. It's great to be back here. And I know what you're thinking right now is, well, where were you last week? The week before was still, the holiday season, but where were you last week? And the truth is, I had interviews straight through to midnight 1 week ago today. There was no time in my schedule to do a video. And I'm sorry to deprive you for both of you who are watching. But it was one of those facts of life things. Or, at some point, you got to give the machine some downtime. You need to get to bed after midnight that night. So I decided to, take a little bit of a longer break from bringing this company to you. But I'm back. We're ready for 2026. It's going to be the best year in our history. And the beauty of changing from one year to the next means it's another step in our journey towards seeing the world. Because now we can say a little bit later on this year, we get to travel. And of course, that is my favorite part of this job. And I think your favorite part of this company. So we're here in 2026. I hope you're off to a great start. And just the updates from the mothership, updates from us. The biggest thing is tours are filling. Okay. I could tell you right now, as a fact, for basketball, we are not offering roster spots on every tour that we advertise at this point. All right. There are certain tours that we are present on our website that we are not offering spots to. That is the big news right there. Now, let me also make it clear. This is not if you snooze, you lose. All right. The tours we have remaining are all fantastic. They're just not all available anymore. And I've been saying all year, roster spots fill quickly. So if you are still completing your application, and we're still getting tons of applications, if you're still looking to schedule that interview, just know if you have a singular choice going into your interview, your top choice, I do everything I can to get every traveler that we end up accepting on their top choice. But I can't always make that guarantee once we hit a certain part of the year, and we are there. All right. So my advice to you, finish your application quickly, get that interview set up as quick as you can, and have a choice B or even a choice C, just in case. Because, once we fill a roster, the chances of us adding a second team at a same age group, very slim. And in this case, this year, we're, for certain tours, not going to do it at all. So the good news is we have amazing opportunities available. The somewhat bad news is, if you look on our social media, we are filling roster spots every single day. And the really bad news is not every tour is available for basketball, and other sports are starting to get there pretty quickly too. So my advice to you, get moving on the application. It's 2026, people. Time to get to work. Come see the world with us. But just know those roster spots are not out there forever. But otherwise, it's been a great run since I last did a video. It's been a few weeks. And one of the things I did this year, I went someplace that was supposed to be a little more tropical for the holidays, all right, Florida. And it was like a high of 60 each day, which for me is great. All right, I'm in the Northeast. I enjoy the cold, to be honest. I actually like a cold winter. For me, the thing, I don't love Florida. No offense to Florida, because I know we get a lot of Floridians who have an interest in student athlete world. It's just not my favorite place to visit. And so I especially don't like heat and humidity. And so for me, my typical wintertime journey to Florida includes a healthy dose of heat and humidity. It seems to be the case that whenever I visit Florida, it's like the hottest stretch of December and early January that they get ever. And, all I want to do is sit in the air conditioning. This year, high of 60 was cool. So I actually did more than I'm used to doing. But what I did was I left my interview kind of window open for at least 5 or 6 hours each day and had a really big number of interviews during the holiday season. I had interviews on Christmas Eve, okay, literally. I had interviews on New Year's Eve. And the interviews are great. Like these were some just spectacular interviews. I think people are just super festive and into holiday season and the spirit of adventure and giving. And I got to tell you, as much as I was on vacation, but I was working, it was worth it. So the families I met with during the actual holiday break, even though it wasn't that much of a break, it was such a pleasure. I had so much fun. I got to tell you, 4 years into this job, and I still look forward to every interview. Like the one I just did. My friend Jax Martin gets on the screen. He's a men's soccer candidate, true story, from Oklahoma, near Oklahoma City, near OKC, wearing a Met shirt. So I'm like, this kid must watch my videos. He must have gotten to know me a bit to get on my good side for an interview. Turns out he was a very honest kid, and he got the Met shirt at a local thrift shop. So he had a chance to really sell himself and didn't, but he did as the interview went on. He's a perfect candidate for our tour. Hopefully we'll be announcing his entrance into our soccer team really soon. But it just seems like the quality this year has been the best among a great 4 years of interviews. I've just have thoroughly enjoyed my time on Zoom with our families this year and their families from all around the world. And as you saw on our social media right before the holidays, my friends, the Lorch family, Leonard, they traveled to the United States. And if you didn't see the picture on our social media vehicles, they traveled to Connecticut, my hometown, my home city, and asked to meet up, take a picture, get to know me in person a little bit. And it just so happened they were staying. And by the way, the Lorch family came from Germany. I'm sorry I didn't give the whole story. Flew from Germany to Connecticut to visit friends and family that were in Connecticut, and send me a text. Hey, can we meet up? We met up at my son's hockey rink. There's a picture to prove it. I loved it, man. I love coming across our traveling families when I'm not actually traveling. So if you're in Connecticut at any point, let me know. You could buy me lunch. Just kidding. We can meet up. But that's it from Student Athlete World. We are steamrolling towards our tours. We're putting the finishing touches on the itineraries, getting ready to hire some coaches. More importantly, we're filling rosters like crazy. So now what in the world? What in the world today is brought to you by a company that I guarantee you 99% of you have never heard of. It's called DHgate. And so what is DHgate, Mike? So backstory. I love hockey jerseys. All right. If you didn't know me already, ice hockey is my favorite spectator sport, which thank God, because I have a 13-year-old travel hockey player, and I'm at the rink, 5 days a week sometimes. So thank God I love watching the sport of hockey. But like the Olympics are starting soon, and the hockey rink in Italy is just a disaster. If you want to really laugh at a major sports story right now, look at the hockey rink that they've built for the Olympics. It's awful. And they don't have a jumbotron, they're calling it just a Tron. Like, it's just so bad what they've done. Like, it's an embarrassment for the Olympics that the arena is going to be this bad. But the NHL players are playing, unless the ice is unplayable, which could still happen. And I just can't wait for the Olympic hockey tournament. I love hockey. I love hockey jerseys. At my age, and I turn another year older 5 weeks from now, I still think it is fashionable to wear hockey jerseys. Here's the problem. Like every other major sport, it has just become entirely too expensive to purchase a jersey for your favorite team or favorite athlete, or just in general. All right. You don't get a good deal on a sports jersey unless that player isn't on the team anymore. So, like, if you're basketball, if your goal in life is to have a LeBron jersey and the Lakers traded him tomorrow, you'll be able to find on the Lakers merchandise site a very reasonably priced LeBron James jersey the next day because he's not on the team anymore. So people aren't going to flock to buy his jerseys. But in general, buying sports jerseys is a very expensive endeavor. Now, children like sports jerseys. When I was a kid, my first sports jersey, if you're a New York Giants fan, by the way, hired a new coach. That'll be next week's What in the World, I think. But it was a Phil Simms, legendary Giants quarterback, Giants jersey. And I wore that thing as often as I could wear it. And then I became a big hockey fan. And for the holidays, for birthday, all I wanted was Rangers jerseys. And back then, they were considered expensive. Now they're downright exorbitant. What's my point, Mike? DHgate is a company based out of China that I've read on some social media pages, people who have purchased sports jerseys, mainly hockey jerseys, from dhgate.com that they've been very satisfied with. Now, the website, or they actually have an app, is a bit confusing to navigate. It does take a while for the product to arrive. It's about a 4 to 6 week turnaround. But for this year, I found hockey jerseys that were $20 to $30 and like real people, real organizations. So like New York Rangers this year played in the Winter Classic in Florida and won that game. So like I got Winter Classic jerseys. This year for the New York Rangers is their centennial year. It's their 100th anniversary. They have a special centennial jersey. And then they have their regular complimented jerseys and jerseys from the past that they've worn for special events that they've played in and they don't wear anymore. All for sale, dhgate.com, $20 to $30 with shipping almost $40, which is about 25% the cost, if not even more than that, of a typical hockey jersey. They had the U.S. Olympic jersey. 2 days after it was announced and unveiled, they had it available. So I went and bought a bunch. Took a little while, got them. I got to tell you, they pretty much look like the real thing. The quality of the material is really good. Now, the embroidery, you could tell it's a knockoff. They are knockoff jerseys, don't get me wrong. But it is for, with shipping, $35 to $40, a better product than that $35 to $40 shirt that I'll purchase at a chain store to purchase clothing for men, wherever I shop. And so I'm now going to order baseball and football jerseys, basketball jerseys from DHgate, and maybe some historically significant jerseys from other teams as well. But my point is, I was so impressed with the product that I received. It looks optically like the real thing. I believe they'll be somewhat durable, even with the embroidery that wasn't quite as great. And if you read online, the reviews are pretty good. So I used a credit card they don't normally use just in case it was a scam, and I could easily, deal with that credit card situation. Wasn't a scam. Got everything in 4 to 6 weeks. Worn everything a few times. So was my son. Very happy with the quality. Going to keep shopping here. So DHgate, welcome aboard as a sponsor. And for those of you watching, if sports jerseys are your thing, check out DHgate. Again, you're not going to get something that you can wear 100 times and wash 100 times and expect it to hold. But for that jersey that you're going to wear on occasion, it looks just like the real thing. And I'm very happy to find it because now I can buy something that, for me, spending $200 on a shirt of any kind for any reason to me is preposterous. And now I can qualify that purchase by saying, if I were to buy a normal shirt of my own that I'm going to wear, such as this, it's going to cost me $35 to $40 anyway. So might as well get something cool like a Rangers jersey. So what in the world? What in the world this week goes out to Major League Baseball? Now, I know it's January. And I realize spring training is still, roughly a month away. But tonight, the Los Angeles Dodgers signed Kyle Tucker to a ridiculous contract. And it's like 4 years with $250 million or some crazy number. Like they just outbid everybody. A bunch of deferred money in there, big signing bonus. So that way the luxury tax can be minimized a little bit. And it's just getting to the point, with the Dodgers, it's unfair. Now, I say this as a New York Mets fan. The New York Mets have an owner with extremely deep pockets who up until this offseason, no idea what has happened to the Mets, was willing to spend stupid money to make the Mets a contender. Suddenly, Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, has gotten frugal. Pete Alonso's gone. Edwin Diaz is gone. He went to the Dodgers. They traded away some good pieces. The Mets are just going to be kind of embarrassing next year. But you know what? It doesn't matter because that Dodgers team with this latest signing, which just won the World Series, becoming a dynasty, the argument can be made potentially can be the best team in baseball history next season. And like their luxury tax hit is going to be higher than almost every payroll in baseball. What does that mean? It means the luxury tax isn't working. It means the system's broken, like more broken than any other sport. They have an all-star team. And it's not right for the simple reason that, like in the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s, the Yankees attempted to put together teams like that. And even recently, remember when they got Giancarlo Stanton from the Marlins for almost nothing? You kind of got that super team vibe again. But with this Dodgers team, it's diminished the value of watching baseball next season. We know who's going to win the World Series. There is no question who's going to win it. All right. And if you're a Dodgers fan, it's great. But the bottom line is this. The idea for any professional sport is that next generation is a part of the equation. And if you're growing up outside of LA right now, what is the reason to watch your local baseball team? Even me as a Mets fan, the 2026 baseball season has no value to it. The Mets aren't going to win the World Series. No one else is going to win the World Series but the Dodgers, so I don't care. And this is the final year of Major League Baseball's collective bargaining agreement. I don't love the salary cap in any sport. All right. I'm a capitalist myself. For the Dodgers, the business mind of me says, God bless the Dodgers. They figured out a way to spend enough money to build an empire and still be profitable. And if you can do that, you have figured out capitalism in this particular sport in a way that other people have not. But on top of being a capitalist, I'm also a fan. I love baseball. I love all sports. I love competition. The Olympics are coming up. I can't wait. I can't wait for curling. I just love competition. With baseball without a salary cap, there is no more competition. It's over. There's the Los Angeles Dodgers. There's 50 miles, then there's everybody else. And it has made baseball not unwatchable, because any game not involving the Dodgers should be a good game this year. But it's made it uninteresting. The conclusion has been achieved. There is no way this Dodgers team will not win the World Series because the system is broken. So as a big baseball fan, I am less compelled to watch than probably any other time in my life. And I'm a Mets fan. The Mets have had some awful teams where I've not wanted to watch baseball for a year, 2, or 10. But I still watch because I'm a fan. That's how I feel about my teams. As a Mets fan this year, I don't want to watch. Yes, the Mets are going to be awful. But on top of that, we know how this is all going to end up. So for current fans, there's less value to the experience of watching and going to games. And for future fans like children, like my own, all right, there's just no reason. And maybe 20, 30 years ago, it's not as big of a deal because during the summer, not a lot of options for entertainment. Now, it's going to be, if I have a choice between watching a baseball game or going on my Xbox or doing something else, just scrolling on my phone, I'm less likely to watch baseball now because baseball needs a salary cap. And while there's nothing that the Dodgers have done that's illegal, the bottom line is this. The collective bargaining agreement ends at the end of this season. There has to be a change. Whether it's a salary cap, the end to deferred payments, the end to the signing bonus, circumventing the luxury tax, or just somehow beefing up the luxury tax to achieve a degree of parity. There's one giant have in baseball, a handful of mini-me's as haves, and a bunch of have-nots. And it's ruining the game. So what in the world, Major League Baseball? You're devouring yourself, and it's going to hurt you down the road. You have a chance a year from now to fix it. I suggest you do. And that's it for the latest spin this week. As always, great fun. Great to see you all again. As always, there is one way to fill our remaining roster spots. Go to studentathleteworld.com. Complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. So pumped we're in 2026. Excited to see you next week. Have a great week, everybody.